Well, I've always loved movies. I think I do. From my earliest memories of being in Nanta. When I was a child, watching Star Wars at our local cinema. Not public cinema, it was a cinema as part of Nanta, actually. That's my vague memories of watching Star Wars New Hope. To my past experiences, or probably lead to my past job or line in the film industry for about a decade, maybe about a decade ago. That's irony. So a decade in the industry a decade ago was the culmination of me loving films. And I suddenly remember this. It suddenly dawned on me because of the recent Singapore International Film Festival. I remember the days of chasing after films, of adoring independent films at that time, and being able to absorb and devour films of many countries, and at the same time genres to a particular degree. I mean, there are specific genres that does not appeal to me and has not appealed to me, like the horror genre and whatnot. But everything else was sort of fair game. Maybe I was so hungry back in the day that I was willing to absorb and try anything actually. As opposed to now, I don't say I am less opposed to trying, but maybe because of my blogs, I maintain a film blog, a very sparingly sparse film blog where I don't really indulge in as much as I do, but nevertheless, I do end up watching a lot of trailers and doing research into what the films are about. And maybe the film watching experience for me right now is different than from the past. When I say the past, maybe my life is split between pre-stroke and post-stroke. I cannot deny that it has impacted my life so hard that it has become the mark where I gauge everything else against. So bear with me if whoever is listening. So we talk about let's romanticize about my pre-stroke enjoyment of films in the mid-90s that led to my first feature film. Actually, it's as simple as I think I had bumped into a producer for Forever Fever and a few film festivals, and of course me being loquacious, if that's the word, I like to talk a lot, and I like to talk a lot about my work. And I am passionate about my work, and I realize I talk more about what I'm passionate about rather than small talk, which might not necessarily be something I'm good at. Some might disagree, but I totally disagree. I suck at small talk. I try to, and I can hear I try to, and if I'm not comfortable, I'm just not comfortable. But having said that, coming back to work or what I like and enjoy, I become the geek, even if it's work, especially film. So I remember talking constantly about film and enjoying film and where I stand, my principles. And I think I remember Mee Pok Man, Eric Khoo's Mee Pok Man at Majestic Cinema back in the day where it was shown as part of the film festival, and how four-dimensional it is because I could feel the bloody rat running through my feet. So drama, right? But at the same time, it was through circumstances like that I managed to speak to Chi Chong. Shout out to Chi Chong. Then perhaps got me an opportunity to work on my first feature film, which was Forever Fever. And I've been doing TV design for a couple of years then, and had invested a lot of my time into film or studying film design. Even TV is self-taught. All of this are self-taught. Of course, my background in interior design helped in terms of spatial management, but art direction is purely a self-taught thing. Even until now, I'm still learning. Ironically, even though I'm not in the line, It is what we call the 职业病. Everything you see, everything I see on TV, on film, there I wonder, how they made that? How they get that prop? They must have prefab this. They must have set this up. Whether or not I can identify or not, it's no longer a badge of honor. It becomes a bloody sickness, Just can't enjoy things for the sake of enjoying. But I aim to try, and I have been trying for the past 20 years, damn it. And I still do. But having said that, coming back to film festivals, the Singapore Film Festival was the only film festival that I constantly aim for, actually, with the booklets, constantly writing booklets, choosing what I want, and making sure I can afford the time to visit all of them. It's the logistics, just like filmmaking is for design. The whole chunk of it is logistics. You can dream forever in what you want to achieve, but the pure logistics ties everything down. So the creative aspect is tempered a lot of logistics, as is and was my viewing of films. As much as I, badge of honor in the past of 3 films in a day, 3 different films back to back in different aspects of Singapore or different areas of Singapore. Young can run through all these dash. Can afford taxi? Afford taxi. Cannot afford taxi? I plan for bus. But when it comes to film festival, don't dream too much about taking buses. Having said that, then through the lean years before stroke actually, through the lean years, watching films was a luxury to a degree, I will not deny. This image you see here were probably about a year into or before I had stroke. The picture is on that I sent him for a trading card. One tick off my my bucket list for a trading card of me in my room with my long hair in 2009, 2010, before I had stroke. And it was around then that, at times were lean, that I cannot necessarily afford a film ticket. It's as simple as that. Back then I was still smoking, which is the irony then that I would rather pay for a pack of smokes than to watch a movie. So maybe a hard pack will cost about over $10, and that is one cinema ticket. And maybe a hard pack will last me on lean days, maybe 2 weeks. On regular days, 2, 3, 4 days. So that was the equation, the formula then. Then stroke happened. Stroke happened in October 2010. That impacted my film life primarily because it left me with double vision. So it was quite a pain in the ass trying to watch movies. And I remember the first movie I went to after coming out of in the middle of my rehab, or rather at the tail end, where I felt I was independent enough to walk by myself. I think I watched it without my cane. I cannot remember. And that's an aspect of life I don't reminisce as much. But I remember watching Sucker Punch by Zack Snyder in a big screen. I was wearing my eye patch then. And I wasn't wearing my glasses. Already, now I must wear glasses to even watch on the big screen. But anyway, I watched Sucker Punch. And I tried to watch it without the eye patch. And it was undoable. So I watched it with the eye patch, and the flood of joy, the cinematic joy of enjoying a visual, of being brainwashed in the darkened cinema for an X number of hours, that was quite a joy, quite the delight. And since then, and something which I have not been for the past couple of years, reasons which I'll share later, was that I would watch at least a movie a month, a movie a week. And I'll go for matinees on Mondays and Tuesdays because it used to be cheaper to watch on Mondays and Tuesdays. Cinemas used to be cheaper, weekdays, because I wasn't necessarily gainfully employed. That's a nice word for it. It allowed me a chance to go and watch by myself. It has become a situation where I watch a movie by myself. Not because I deplore company, because I don't have the ability to find friends to watch during weekdays. And with whatever my gripe and personal mental issues with crowds on the weekends, I avoid lah. And then with friends who are only able to be free are weekday nights and weekends. It has come to a point where I'd rather not go out on weekends because I really do not like the crowds. Mentally, physically as well. Regardless, then watching movies on the weekends is more expensive. At the same time, no, that's not my idea of relaxation. So I'll watch on a weekday, Monday, Tuesday, maybe Wednesday, where it used to be cheap. Now different. Now the price is more or less the same, which is a bit stupid. Then I'd rather watch online. Even in any context, it is poo-pooed to acknowledge, I watch online movies through dubious means. Screw that noise, lah. It is the only way I can watch more movies and absorb right now than to be able to afford movies. So power to those who can afford, but screw you for judging me, lah. If you do, if you don't, that's my only other way to enjoy my cinematic experience now transposed to a desktop screen in front of me, and possibly decent earphones, which sometimes is tricky if I'm trying to watch alone at home, because I'm not the sort to want to talk during movies. I just want to enjoy my movies. So noise where people talking irritates me, annoys me to hell. Friends asking me about movies as I'm watching it annoys me to heck. So maybe that's part of the reason I don't partake anymore. The last movie I watched was Solo with Ian Seymour, a buddy who was free, and we watched it and enjoyed it, and good, it was fun. Certain movies are fun that you can gather with friends and talk, and verbally express your joy about as it happens. But most times when I'm watching alone, and I do treasure the time alone to just enjoy the film without being disturbed. Except for matinees are tricky during holiday times. And then, people talk. I can't remember the last movie I watched that annoyed me. That actually, it's not just the last movie. Quite a few that I watched during holidays. And daddy, what does the person do? Daddy, oh my god. Get the hell out of the cinema. Go and pay for something that you can watch on the desktop. But, of course I'm being selfish. Being the selfish, complaining Singaporean has become my life, lah. Regardless, watching movies. It is a strong aspect of my life that I treasure, even after stroke. Now with my glasses, I do enjoy the movie once in a while. That maybe with my kidney issues happening right now here, a body full of issues, that being able to maintain a fixed amount of hours watching a movie without needing to go to the toilet is a struggle. Especially Marvel movies, it's hilarious. Marvel movies with the post-credit scenes, then I'm holding on and I do a lot of research. This movie got post-credit. Sometimes forget, on the phone, try to scroll and Google and find out, this movie got post-credit. Worth staying for. Oh my gosh, I need to go to the toilet. Need to tahan. The cycle is vicious. But, I appreciate the opportunity to be able to watch a movie. That I can still get off my ass off a wheelchair and watch a movie. I constantly remember saying that. And I constantly say that I'm tired of saying it. But cannot deny the impact stroke has on me. And it informs everything else I do right now. Not necessarily because of fear. Fear has helped me in this grip for quite a while. But it is being able to experience otherwise that colors how I do things now, actually, and how things affect me. I cannot dare to, through the years, it's been 8 years since, I cannot avoid talking about it, although I try to constantly with people. But neither can I expect people to understand. Not that I deny people's chance of experience, but, need to move on. Anyway, I'm whining, and downstairs uncle with the Karang-Guni uncle with the horn, it's always kills. I don't know if you can hear it on the recording, but regardless, it's film I'm trying to talk about. And a film that popped into mind was for my recent trip in Shantou, China, is Us and Them, which I found out the name, after the fact. I watched it twice in my hotel room and I always missed the first few minutes. And I don't necessarily know what the movie's name was. Then upon coming back to Singapore, Googling it and trying to track it down and realizing it was an older film from Renee Liu, whose Chinese name I forget. Liu Luoying, yes, Liu Luoying, who's an actress, was Taiwan's favorite girl or favorite woman or whatnot. An actress, an album, and a singer. I have one of her albums, quite ironically. And I'm so proud if I could. This is the first feature directorial debut. I can't say it's a perfect film, but it touches the heartstrings on many levels. It's very true about guys as well. Guys that might not necessarily be strong, but relationships as well. So it's a highly recommended movie. I just found it on one of the sites that I visit as well. So a bit wary to watch it because I cried for a couple of times. And it is one thing to cry alone in the hotel room and enjoying it than to say cry in public, which I don't really care these days. But for the times when I watch films of friends or so-called friends who boys with boys laughing, why you cry at films? That's sad fuckers, man. My first vulgarity. Sad buggers who just to put people down, who probably to me cry themselves as well. So they point to other people. But regardless, that's one of the movies. Another movies I watched on that hotel channel that opened me up was, opened my perception up. Well, one was Deadpool 2, which I watched before. But it's hilarious because it came with subtitles and all the vulgarities came with it. I thought China cracked down on stuff like that. But all the vulgarities were in plain written subtitles, English subtitles. It was hilarious, man. And I watched that. Then I managed to watch Shape of Water. The Shape of Water 2, which I hated that I missed in the big screens. But yeah, I managed to watch that too. I didn't finish it because it screened late into the night. And it's tricky now because if I were to try and watch it, it's not to watch half-hearted or halfway and whatnot, because it was obvious what they screened wasn't a legit copy. It felt like a bootleg or watered down version. Not watered down, it's like a transferred after a VHS thing, clear VHS, but it felt transferred. And the aspect ratio a bit salah. You can see things were cropped out, especially during the beginning when the text was cropped out. Then the aspect ratio is different. Either it was a superior video recording in the cinema or otherwise. Regardless, that also gave me an opportunity to watch few movies in a row. Somehow in the working days, I'm grateful. Not working days. I'm grateful for the past period where I do not necessarily. It's not. My English slowly condemned. Really. You can see my attention span waning already. So probably gonna keep this short. Not short. Keep this to my 20-minute. Anyway, now I can see my pattern already. Not more than 20 minutes. Then I start to waver in my dialogue and lose my attention. Regardless, I remembered probably when we are working, we might not spend the time, or we feel guilty spending the time to watch a movie. It used to be pre-stroke during my working hours that I would at least try to catch a movie every Friday with friends and buddies after work. So especially post-stroke, there's something I try to keep to every Friday, watch a movie. Be it an older movie from a DVD or somewhere newer movie, which I would not extol too much where I watch it from. Then I will at least keep to that habit because it is an aspect of my past that, that I'll hope to retain regularly and force myself, don't literally have to force myself into a habit that I can enjoy, because I'm not going to wait for somebody to watch a movie with me. As much as I do hope and wish sometimes to share my joy, but I've since come to learn the fact that's not going to happen, and it has become a point where I do not push for it. So as sad as that is, it is reality, it's practicality as well. So instead of whining about it, then I watch myself. I watch a movie myself, which can still enjoy, right? Cannot deny during film fest times back in the years where I tried to get kakis to watch together, but everybody's taste is different, and that was earlier on when I learned to, like, you want to watch it, can, cool, that's it. You don't want, then don't lah. Even with partners and relationships, then you want to watch, let's watch it. If not, maybe I'm selfish and absorbed enough to don't necessarily want to do something that I don't want to, but I'm always willing to open up and let's give it a try. If I like it, great. It's something new I experience, and I do love experiencing new things. And if I don't, I don't like lah. Don't watch lah. So even now after stroke, then it's something I keep to. Like, maybe it's easier that way. It makes things easier when you can decide on yourself. It makes it sadder because you're alone doing it. But yeah, maybe I've chosen to take the easy way out, which for all intents and purposes for films, yeah, I just want to enjoy a film lah. Nothing wrong with that. Couple of films in the past that come to mind that I held up for hope, realizing now and regretting now that don't be an idiot, like, just go and watch it now. And maybe that is my lot in life, there's nothing wrong with that. And it's something to reconcile with. And you want to watch it, go and watch it lah. Can't blame anyone else. I don't blame anyone else. But don't end up whining like a little bitch about it lah. Right. Having said that, maybe for the past few months, or even couple of years, there isn't necessarily any particular movies that want to move me to go and enjoy the cinematic experience. I've become so picky. And that's something that's evolved from the past, where I'm picky about the films I watch already, but willing to devour anything and try. Now, well, I'm quite determined to don't like, hard to move. And it's like, spend this money to go and watch something I don't like, which is a bit ridiculous lah. So financially led, financially influenced as well. So watching films have colored me different, more introspective to a degree right now as well. And ironically, I have been trying to review films for my blog for years, and it's always a struggle because I have constant KIV folders filled with half-reviewed films, because I want to keep on the information and the accurate information about the film to talk about. Whereas now, starting with this vlog podcast wannabe issue, then I'll just rather ramble on, train of thought without any edits, come what may, to just get it out of my head, because I think my head is storing up too much stuff. No, it's no longer just bottled emotions, it's just bottled things that I want to talk about, that I want to exercise outside of my brains. And of course, that's always my mark. That's become my half-hour mark. That's my timer, which I use to time my pills, before and after meal pills. So I'll take a pill before my meals, and it's half an hour. So anyway, I'm rambling on about my stroke. As I told you, my life is impacted and influenced by my stroke lah. No matter how later it's pills lah, regardless. As impacted I am as about film, I am very picky about what I watch now. Because finance and as well taste. And being able to interview it maybe is something that I will consider doing along the lines of just rambling into my iPhone 6. Easier than to have KIV filled folders of stuff that I'll junk every year the year end comes. And now it's December. This year is going to end, and I have a whole folder full of reviews that will turn into nothing. So I don't want to waste effort and time. And neither do I want to post something of non-quantity lah. Quality, non-quality. Yeah, that's not quantity. Non-quality. Regardless. Veering off tangent. And maybe that's what this recording is for. It's for me to veer off tangent and talk to myself, so that I will remind myself certain things. It's different when you talk about it out loud, assumably to someone else who might not necessarily follow my train of thought, and then do not necessarily hope for anyone to be able to follow my train of thought, because it might not be fair. So to squeeze it out of my brain, speak it, and move on. Just like films to a degree, some films are the sort that we watch that you enjoy, yay, then you forget about. And frankly, a lot of movies that come to mind are Marvel movies. because I'll enjoy them immensely, come out and move on. Different than, let's say, movies like, for example, from DC. Watch it, so much hatred, so much love, so much issue, want to talk about it, end up complaining about it, then you remember it for the wrong reasons. I enjoyed Suicide Squad. I watched it twice. But now I think, and be objective, I am remembering it for the wrong reasons. I don't talk about Justice League as well, as much at all, for all the wrong reasons as well. For Marvel, yeah, forget. But my gauge at the end of the day is being able to watch something and enjoy, and I'll buy a DVD. I haven't gone into Blu-ray, and I don't think I'll go into Blu-ray, not yet in my life anyway, but maybe until the time when it becomes cheaper too. But now, I buy DVDs, which becomes a struggle because how many stores you have that sells DVDs. Back in the day of film festivals in the mid-90s, in the early 2000s, right? It was so different because VCD was in. VCDs was the gateway to a lot of films for me as well, man. I have boxes full of VCDs of independent films, and because it's low cost, of independent films that I would have caught in a film festival, and I could own on VCD, and that was great aspect of being a collector of films. But now, wow, hard lah. And I hardly go online to search for films because actually I refuse to. I'm a very tactile person. I'm very hands-on. I'd rather hold something in my hands and to collect it. Call me a hoarder, I don't care. But to collect it and to own it, than to, say for compact disc, CD music, albums, I've not downloaded anything. I'd rather have something physical and own something physical. Then it feels more real rather than rely everything on digital. So I'm a tactile person. I'm a very person that feels, I love you, I touch you. You know, I say it, it's what I say, but if I can touch you, then even just hold your hand, this is how I express. Regardless, this is how I express myself and this is how I absorb things as well. So movies is a physical sit down and watch a movie, watch once in a while, take popcorn, which I cannot because diabetes, cholesterol, so stuff like that, avoid them. Soft drinks, I used to love pop sodas, but now, after stroke, tahan lah. Drink, want to go toilet. Don't drink, it's not a full experience. Having said that, then, I'm not gagging to watch any movies right now in cinema. Maybe. The last one I really wanted to watch was Mirai no Mirai. And I really regret not going to watch that by myself. Now, yeah, no movies pop into mind. And the most Widows from Alexander McQueen, but only because of hype, I realized. But, and then the recent Singapore International Film Festival, SIFF, I've been seeing a lot of promo about it on Facebook. For the past few years, I've not followed the SIFF. What for go and follow stuff I cannot watch? So, I'm not going to torture myself about it. But having seen the promos, it has gotten me interested again. And yeah, sounding very melancholic about it because it suddenly becomes saddening more than joyful. And I get a comment that it feels as if my voice feels as if I'm going to cry. Thanks, But thank you for the feedback, lah. Any feedback is feedback. So, yeah, until the time my voice becomes more cheerful, then maybe I won't podcast anymore. That's a reality. Push to an edge, push to a degree, then end up exploring creative outlets. But when happy, yeah, maybe not. Just contented with being happy. Same for me writing my personal blogs. I think I write best when I'm in the throes of turmoil and anguish. But if I'm happy, I don't lah. I remember even authoring my stroke blog. I have a stroke blog, thanks a lot. That I author a lot and consistently author a lot because I felt very strongly about it. I felt very anguished. But now when I feel slightly better, when I get tired of my own whining, then I don't blog about it lah. Yeah, so maybe that's the downside. But having said that, yeah, acknowledging it, then try to sort it out for myself. How to sort it out? Maybe I'll find a way lah. If I don't, okay, maybe I don't lah. Regardless, it's heading into the half hour. I've been talking with my eyes closed, and maybe that's easier to ramble on without staring at nothing into space. It's now closing into the half an hour mark, which is quite a pain to try and upload, but we'll see how that works out, upload to YouTube. But nevertheless, I'll end this right now and go and take my breakfast before my pills wear out, so I can take my post-breakfast pills. And maybe watch a movie. It's a Friday today, so for me to figure out what movie that I'll watch today, and that has become one of my sole excitements. Nevertheless, have a great Friday.